Welcome to the Voice of Oneness, your call to awaken. This show is your call to awaken to the truth of your being through the teachings of the Voice of Oneness, spoken by Aumara. On this show, you will receive spiritual guidance and the teachings of oneness from the heart of spirit directly to your heart, along with the tools and techniques to apply these teachings to your day-to-day life. Tuning in each week, you will grow in a deeper, richer understanding of your true nature as teachings are offered about universal spiritual laws that govern our lives. You will learn the right use and application of these laws to achieve the richest life from the perspective of experiencing abundance in all areas of your life. Aumara Bonet is a renowned psychic, spiritual teacher, coach, energy healer, mystic, and gifted visionary who taps into the higher realms to join with the vast collective of source energy. Now, your host of Voice of Oneness, Aumara Bonet.
Good evening, friends. Welcome to the Voice of Oneness here on WLTK-DB Radio. I am your host, Aumara Bonet, and I'm so grateful that you have listened to your call to awaken this evening by joining us here on this podcast. Tonight, we're going to be discussing the power of intention. But before that, I want to remind everyone listening that this is truly a dialogue from the heart of spirit to your heart. So the more participation, the more comments that we receive and questions, it fuels this fire here and helps us to really benefit the most. So don't hesitate to ask questions, any questions regarding the show, what's being spoken, or any spiritual question, and we will address the question. So do ask away. I want to remind you that if you are listening to the recording of the show, that you can send your questions as well. You can send to Aumara, Aumara, at Aumara, Aumara, Bonet.com. And we will respond to your questions on the next show. So you won't miss out. So tonight we're going to be discussing the power of intention. Learn to harness your power and create a new reality. Last week, we spoke about the law of attraction and the law of manifestation. And this week is followed up by the power of intention. The law of attraction, to review just a little bit here, for those of you that may not have tuned in last week, the law of attraction tells us that like energy attracts like energy. We are electromagnetic beings. The cells and atoms and ions and molecules which make us up are energy. Everything is energy in motion and has a vibration and a frequency. And this is measurable, a vibration and a frequency. Your thoughts are energy, your words are energy, and your actions are energy. It is through thought that you create. You have a very powerful mind, and when we harness the power and we focus the thought, that's intention. Intention is a focused thought, and we join with the field, which we can call intention, we can call source, we can call infinite intelligence, And we join with that field to make manifest that which we are intending. And it's a very powerful process, and it is the way of which we co-create with the source which created us. So let's explore that a little bit more. Source, and they have form, substance, and power. The power of the word is where thought forces are focused. As you focus any thought, word, or deed, that which we do in action, you increase the power to create. Our words are powerful. They are energy and are always creating. Clarity, the clarity behind it, how clear we are, is very important. That adds power. Intention is focused thought, an opportunity to clearly state your intent. To quote Albert Einstein, everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you could not help but to get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. We say this is law. Everything the universe has ever known had its origin first in thought. And from thought, it took form. Created first in the mind through thought, and then made manifest in the physical world. So everything exists first in the unseen. In the unseen. The field of infinite intelligence exists first in the unseen. And then it's made manifest into the physical world. The unseen is the infinite, the eternal, what we call the cause. This is the cause. Source energy is the cause. And the seen effect, that which is made manifest, is matter. That's transient. That's not eternal. That's things of this world. They're transient. The eternal is source. Source energy is eternal. That source is within each and every one of us. This is the power of which is within us. You might have heard the phrase, everything that you need exists within you. You have all that you need. That's what it's referring to. It's referring to the source within us. When we tap into that, we tap into that. We tap into the non-physical, the eternal, the source, the field of intention. That's how we co-create with the source. We tap into that. By tap, I mean tune in. We tune into that. And we'll go through that in a few minutes and really dive a little bit deeper into it. First, we have to examine our thoughts, because there you'll find the initiator of all your troubles. What we're thinking, because the thought is a thing. It impacts persons, places, things. It holds power. That's how we create. The thought goes out, and then we create based on what we are holding within our beliefs. So it has power. Thoughts are things. They're thought forms. So they hold power. So we want to watch what we're thinking. We live in a sea of thought, consciously and unconsciously. We are consciousness. Therefore, we are always creating. We cannot not be creating. We are always creating. We may be creating that which we want to, that which we enjoy, but we're still creating. Like it or not, we are always creating. Behooves us then to learn about the power which is within us, the source that's within us. And when we join with that in right use of this power, then we soar. then we are able to make manifest in our lives that which is beneficial, that which we are asking for, intention, that which we've set. We're paving the way for our reality. We're now living consciously. Many people do not realize the power of intention, do not realize that we hold that power inside and are living by what we call default, just hoping that things are going to work out okay, that they're going to work out the way they want, without realizing that when they learn more about the power of intention, more about the law of attraction, more about the law of manifestation, that we are the co-creators of our realities, and that it's for us to be responsible for our own energy and manage it in such a way that we are choosing, so that we experience life of our choosing. We have about 70,000 thoughts a day, every day, about 70,000 thoughts. And we're not focused on all 70,000 of them. We focus on certain thoughts. We kind of pluck it out of the mix to focus on. What we focus on is what we bring about in our life, in our world. So we want to pay attention to what we focus on. We want to pay attention to our own self-talk. Have you ever listened to your own self-talk? Become aware of what you say about yourself at any given moment during the day. Some people will say things like, look in the mirror and they're about to walk out the front door to go to work and, I'm sad, or I look so old, or something that is a diss to themselves and not something that's uplifting and positive. Or we're driving on the road and somebody cuts us off and we'll, use an obscenity or something, or say, what a jerk because they cut me off. And that energy goes out into the world. And that is now creating the reality of which we experience. So when we're doing those things, I ask you, are you feeling a sense of peace? Are you feeling a sense of you are out of the flow of love? You are more into the fear, more into the anger, more into the discomfort that we experience when we are not aligning with the true nature of our being, when we are aligning with the separateness. Because those that are around us at any given moment are also one with us. When I say one with us, meaning that we impact one another. Our thoughts, we are energy in motion inside the physical body, and that energy is emitting out from the body. So the energy is impacting others, and others' energy is impacting us. We don't have to be what is now termed as an empath in order to have that happen. Everyone is impacted by all that's around them, whether they realize it or not, whether they attribute it to something else. Maybe they attribute it to I'm feeling really bad because I've done something, or I didn't get enough sleep, or I didn't eat the right food, or I didn't hang out with the right people, whatever it may be. But it's the energy that's around us that's impacting us. And as we become more aware of that which we are, our own true nature, those of us that are walking a spiritual path, that are studying, that are asking questions, we hold a bit more of awareness because we are asking questions. We're looking for information. We're looking to understand the true nature of our being. And there are many people, walking around that's just not focus at this time. And that's not to condemn anyone. That's not to say it's a bad thing. That's just not their focus. And that's where we let it lie. We don't want to go saying something like, oh, those are the unconscious folks, or some derogatory response, because that then causes the sense of separation even more. That's saying that they're out there and that's where they are, and I'm right here and I'm separate from them. That's not a possibility. It's not a possibility, ever a possibility. So we just want to say, oh, okay, they're making their choice. mine where I choose. And I make mine based on what feels good inside of me, what keeps me seeking more, what keeps me motivated, what keeps me feeling a sense of purposefulness, a sense of I'm here and I'm experiencing life. And I am that divine love. And I'm here to make a difference. Many people say, I'm here to make a difference in the world. Well, how do we make a difference in the world? We make a difference by growing and expanding our consciousness, by increasing our frequency, by learning more about the truth of who we are, by learning how to utilize the gift, the power of intention that's inside of us to create the world of which we are choosing to experience. And that's very important. It's a part of managing our own energy, living an intentional life, setting intentions for what we choose to experience. The power, as I said, of intention is within us. It's not something that we need to attain. We were born with it. We simply are divine beings of light. We were created by Source. We can call Source infinite intelligence, Source, God. I call it God. We'll call it God for the purpose of this podcast tonight. But if you need to switch it within your mind and make it the Source or infinite intelligence, feel free to do that. Whatever it is that resonates with you. It's important because we are each individuated aspects of consciousness, and we are each experiencing life, and we are each coming to the return of the oneness of which we are at our own rate, at our own way of being. We'll never get there and experience the oneness point by trying to copy someone else, by trying to live by someone else's laws, by somebody else's doctrine, by somebody else's dogma. We want to get there by ourselves. We want to get there with what feels right for us, and that's important. It's important to feel. It's important to cultivate that connection with the source that's within us. That's how we live fully. That's how we experience peace. That's how we manifest. That's how we create through the power of intention, by joining with the field, the infinite source of intelligence. How do we join with that infinite source of intelligence? That is the key to utilize the power of intention. And we'll do a little of that in a few minutes. There's an interesting quote that I happened to come across this evening. It was by Jim. It's our intention. Our intention is everything. Nothing happens on this planet without it. Not one single thing has ever been accomplished without intention. And that's by Jim Carrey. And if we think about it, we contemplate that. We think of that for a moment and say, everything created, everything that's created in this world, in the which we exist, is placed here through the power of intention. Nothing exists without intention. Everything that's here, including you and I, are here through the power of intention. We were placed here. All things are. And that power of intention, that source energy, is inside each and every of us. And as we learn to align with it, now we co-create in a more powerful manner. Now we have a purer connection. And we are able to create that which we desire. We're able to make that occur, joining with the source, by realizing that there is no separation between ourselves and the source of which created us. This is not something that we have been taught. This is not something necessarily that we've been taught. unless you came from exceptional parents, very aware themselves, then they might have shared that. But usually the case is that we have been conditioned in a much different way, conditioned to rely upon other sources to make manifest, conditioned to believe that we don't hold the power within us, that the power is outside of us. And that's a total distraction. And that leads to frustration, anger, depression. It does not lead to the wholeness of the experience of love, of which we are. So when we say, okay, now I'm going to make a conscious choice, and I'm going to choose to align with the power that's inside me, and I'm going to do that using the gift of which I was given, which is my own imagination, the power of my mind, to hold within my mind that which I intend. And if it is, I intend optimal health, if I have something within inside me that needs healing, I can intend that something, whatever it may be, is healed fully, and I am wholly restored to my divine presence here and now. And then I use my mind to imagine what that looks like. And then I use in my heart space what that feels like. What does it feel like to be free of pain if I'm experiencing pain? If I have pain in my body right now, and many people do, I say, okay, I'm setting my intention that the pain within this body is released and that I am restored to a pain-free experience here and now. And I set that intention. Now, I set the intention, and many people, that's where they stop. They set the intention. Well, I've intended it, therefore I release it to the universe. But before we do that, we want to align with the universe. We want to align with the source. We want to bring ourselves into that flow, not holding ourselves separate, but realizing I'm asking to be pain-free because it's my birthright. If I have pain in my body, I stepped out of that awareness. I am one with that which created me. The pain is coming from something I'm holding inside of me that is not the blueprint of the oneness of which I am part of. So I'm saying, okay, I want to be restored. I want to be restored. So to be restored now, I am cultivating inside my own heart space the feeling of love. The feeling of love. I am so loved. I am so loved. And this is one example of how to do it. There's other examples, but this is one. Okay? I am so loved. It is my divine birthright to experience a pain-free existence. And I call that forth now. And I am one that which created me. And I just imagine within my mind that I go into the oneness, the field of oneness. And I just breathe in and out. And I just allow myself to sit with that, cultivating that I am one with this field. I am worthy of this. This is my divine birthright. And I'm aligning with that which I am. I am that oneness. I am inside the Creator's being. I am a part of. Experiencing life, I've forgotten that. That's not where my focus has been. But right here, right now, I place my focus there through the power of intention. It is my intention here to join with that field. And then I experience within my own heart what that feels like. And I do that. And I stay in that feeling. Maybe for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I stay right in that feeling. And then I let it go. When I come to the point and I say, yes, I've placed my intention out to the field. I am wholly within me in this moment that it is my divine right for this asking, and that I have already received this. So now I'm going to feel it inside of me. It's here. I'm pain-free. I'm pain-free. I'm pain-free. I'm pain-free. I'm going to receive this. And I work with that. And when I am aligned with that source, the source of which I am, when I am in the space of loving myself, I receive. If I'm outside of that space, now I'm not quite ready. Doesn't mean it's not there. Doesn't mean it's not my birthright. Doesn't mean that it's not mine to experience. It simply means I don't have readiness yet. You know, I have a grandson who's a bicycle. He still needs training wheels. He's not ready for those to come off yet because he doesn't quite have his balance. But it doesn't mean that they're not coming off. It means they're coming off when he achieves readiness at his own pace. It's the same for each and every one of us. When we achieve the readiness, when we bring our mind to that space of which we're aligning with all this, we're aligning with God, we're aligning with the Creator. There's nothing holding us away from that. Then, boom, now we receive that which we have asked for. It's stated in A Course of Miracles, a book, A Course of Miracles. If you knew who besides you in your life, you could never experience fear or doubt again. And that's another way. If we knew who was walking alongside of us, if we knew that the source was here with us in each and every breath and everything we do, this is the field. It's the intention, the intention, that which provides us with all of which we're asking for. This is walking with us in each and every breath, in everything we do. And you say, well, why do I have the life I have? Why isn't it not a mirror of the source within me? And we say, because we're not in readiness yet. Because we're still walking around believing that we're a separate self. We're still believing that we have to protect ourselves and that we have to do everything and we have to be so independent, and we have a guilt when we ask for things because I shouldn't be asking. I should be able to get them myself. And we forget that we are here together. We are together with Source having an experience. Source intended us here. So that Source could experience life in the expanded form throughout all of the all creation. So we're all experiencing this together in each and every moment. When we really, really focus and we ponder this and we think about it, oh my, and I'm wasting my time worried about something. My own worry creates a pattern of resistance that keeps the experience of which I'm worried about in my life. My own worry is what draws it closer in to me. My worry, my doubt, my fear. If I were to release that worry, doubt, and fear, It would be like releasing a balloon. The balloon just rise up into the atmosphere and burst and be no more. It's the same with that which we are holding worry, doubt, and fear of. We are creating it. We are giving it life. We are co-creators. We are always creating. We need to become aware of that, take responsibility for that by saying, what is it I'm focused on? What is appearing in life? And how do I navigate this to create that which I want, not that which I do not? I hope that makes sense. So there's a lot of great scientists and studies available on the power of intention. One of the really who's been studying the power of it for decades is Lynn McTaggart. Lynn McTaggart. And she wrote a book on intention. She wrote a book on the field. She wrote a book on the power of 8. And she did a lot of worldwide intention experiments and has the scientific method. She's got data revealing what she has found. And I found one particularly that I listened to her just last night on a YouTube. And I thought it was really something worth mentioning here. She's been studying intention and consciousness for decades. Through her research, she found intention requires focused thought. Focused thought. We have to focus. We focus on the thought. We talked about that, focusing in on the thought. We talked about joining with the source, the field. We talked about getting to that point within where we can feel and experience within us the oneness of that we are. Here's the scientific proof. Through her research, she found that intention requires focused thought displayed by examining brain function. Intention experiments. What found is the parietal lobes in the back of the brain, the parts of the brain that help us personal space, my personal space, and a separate sense of self. During the intention setting exercise that they were in, the participants' brains showed that the parietal lobes dialed down. They dialed down quickly. So the energy was pulled away from the parietal lobe and the frontal right lobe, which is responsible for processing of fear, doubt, anxiety, worry. That also dialed down very quickly. So it was measurable that this is now dialing down. Well, what results when we dial down? When we're down on fear, worry, anxiety, doubt, sense of separate self, our spatial connection to this is my personal space. Don't invade my space. I have to be separate. We are now connecting to the oneness. We're coming more into that state of oneness, that connection with, there's no sense of separate self. I'm connecting with those around me. I'm joining into the field of intention and I'm connecting with those around me. And they did intention experiments for healing. And many times, one way of which she was doing it was the power of 8. There were 8 participants. Sometimes there were more, sometimes there were less, but 8 she kind of feels is a really good number. It works really well. Doesn't have to be 8. It could be 2 people. It could be 1 person. But Power of 8 is the name of the book, and that was the experiment that she was doing at that time. So they were focused on someone and a condition that they had. Say it was a cancer. And they focused on that. And they focused on, and they set a specific intention, that which is positive, that which is in the present moment, that which is positive, affirming life. And they set whatever it was for whomever it was, stating who it was. And they held that. Each member of the group held that same intention. And they held it, and then they imagined it, what the person looked like to be free of that, and then felt it. And I think they did it for about 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And the results that they found throughout these different experiments were profound. Major healings took place. Eyesight was restored when eyesight was almost in a state of blindness. Cancer went into remission. Things that happened, people that were in wheelchairs were able to get up from the wheelchairs and walk. Just profound healings. And what that is showing is what we're saying here, that we hold the power inside of us, each and every one of us on the planet, to heal our bodies, heal those of others around us. We just don't necessarily know how to go about it. But here, study the power of attention. And this tells us how. Connecting to God, connecting to the source, the infinite intelligence, the field. Connect with the field in oneness, not separateness. Not I need this me because I am separate. But this then, as I ask for this benefits the greater good of all. Now, once it benefits the greater good of all, it's aligning with the field of intention. The greater good of all is always the intention. Life affirming, life expanding is always the intention. Now I'm coming into readiness. Now I'm impacting the world around me. What Lynn McTaggart also found was altruism, and those that working for of others and holding intentions for others found that it was very powerful. And also were the ones of which they were holding intention for experienced the outcome, which was positive. So too did they see positive ends in their own life, weren't asking for. But the universe was giving back to them. They weren't doing this to be rewarded. They weren't doing this to gain something in their own life. It's a side effect. It's a natural occurrence. Then when I'm giving to and I'm asking for someone else, I'm loving myself because I and this one I'm asking for are one. I'm loving the source. The source and I and what I'm asking for are one. So when I'm asking with an open heart and an intention to heal someone or some place or something, then this is loving the source, because the source is in everything. Everything in all of creation holds the source. And it's saying, in my understanding, through my limited awareness in this finite brain of mine, I am at a point where I realize that I am part of the whole. And with my sincere, open heart, I'm asking for the healing of whatever it may be. And that is powerful. That's using the power of intention. So it's about time for us to take a station break. Stay with me and talk more about the power of intention. And I want to read 2 questions that came in, very worthy of sharing. So stay with me. We'll be right back.
The Body Code is a revolutionary method of energetic healing developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson, which allows us to quickly and easily identify specific imbalances that seem to underline chronic ill health, acute and chronic pain, and discomfort, dysfunction, and stress. Ellie energetically connects with the subconscious of the client. Psychic medium Ellie Weisensell is a medical intuitive and energy healer, and a certified body code practitioner. She identifies and clears energetic imbalances within the body and energy field. Contact Ellie at the website below, and Ellie can work remotely from a distance, by phone, online, video chat. There's no need to travel to an office. Remember, the body code is safe for humans and animals. Contact Ellie today.
Okay, I don't see anyone in the comment section listing any comment here, so we will just continue moving on. So as in each week, you can see how each topic that's chosen, whether it's the law of attraction, the law of manifestation, the law of intention, whatever it may be, it's all held in oneness. When we attune to the oneness, now we are at that state of balance. Now we are apt to experience the optimal life, coming back in, releasing that sense of separation, realizing that we're so much more than we could possibly imagine. And there's no reason to be walking around on this earth feeling a sense of aloneness. There's no reason to be walking around on this earth feeling a sense of being disempowered, when we are here as empowered beings of light. So as we grow and learn this, our life changes. We can totally transform the landscape of our life. And I've seen it, and I've witnessed it. I've experienced it firsthand and through the clients that I work with. I've witnessed miraculous transformations. So know that it's available to you no matter who you are, where you are, and what your current understanding is, what your current circumstance is. As you begin to study and you begin to learn, and you begin to apply what you're learning, life is going to change. Guaranteed. So I hope that this is heard and that we embody the knowing here now that we hold the power. It's ours. Each and every one of us. It's not more in me than it's in you. It's in each and every one of us in the exact same way. The difference is how we access it, how we are able to tap in and tune into it. Are we able to suspend a disbelief and say, well, let me just see what happens here if I try this. Even though I've been conditioned to not believe such things, let me just play with this. It's a possibility. That's all that needs to take place. And then we start to experience differently. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So now we understand that the power is inside of us. The field of intention is the source, the infinite intelligence. And that when we communicate the field from within our heart space, using our mind, aligned with it, we'll experience that which we're asking for. So it's up to us to decide, do we want to live the life we choose? Or do we want to just allow that which comes to us by default to be our experience? The choice is ours. No one else. It's ours. What do we choose? I was working with someone in a very abusive relationship for years. Took a few years worth of working together once a week. And now they are about to experience a whole new life. That which they couldn't have dreamed would be theirs just a few short years ago is now their reality. They've made it happen through their own effort, their own action, and setting their own intention to live a different life, to become aware, to grow in self-awareness and in their own self-esteem, their own acknowledgement of that they are one with the source, that they hold power, and that they do not need to be supported by anyone or anything other than the one substance, the one source of all creation. And now their experience reflects that. And that is the proof that as we choose, when we align, so it is we experience. We are co-creators. Remember that. So now I have a question that came in, and this is a very poignant question. It's, hello, everyone. Thanks for being here and having this site to help people. I really appreciate it. I have a question to ask. Well, many, but let's leave it to one. Ever become an English citizen? It has been my dream since I was a kid. Becoming by naturalization, is it my highest good? Path. I know this sounds very selfish, but it's something I've longed for. I will be very happy if you could reply. Thank you so much. The reply, dear one, you ask if you will become a citizen of the United States of America. You say it is your dream, and you ask if such a path is for your highest good. Questioning is a natural part of the process of understanding you. You want to arrive at a destination that you feel is yours to experience, and it certainly is so. Your deep desire to become something other than what you believe yourself to be has led you to question yourself. You struggle with the belief that to want something so much when there are already things to be grateful for may be a selfish act. It is not selfish to desire something as long as seeking it does not cause you to neglect your needs or the needs of others. So to want to change one's life is always an individual's birthright. Being born as a child of God, one holds the inherent right to experience all that one wishes. However, each individual is always called to the love of that which they are. By loving self, one loves life and all of creation. To feel that one is worthy and deserving of a new life is an act of love and not at all selfish. Now, for one born in a country who dreams of citizenship in a different land, country, that is definitely their right to do so. Yet one is called to look at where they were born and to realize that they were born in the correct area for their needs at the time. But as one grows and experiences life, their needs and desires are sure to change. There are few questions to examine as to why the desire to achieve citizenship in the U.S. is important. Is it because of the dream of a better life? Is there more opportunity to grow in love? Does the dream of citizenship in the U.S. serve as a distraction from realizing what's available to be experienced in one's homeland? Or is it a true calling of expansion? You see, dear one, no matter where you are on the earth, you are always a child of God. You are always a good, beautiful, divine, and powerful creator being. The potential held within you knows no borders. You are a child of the universe. That being understood allows you to pursue your dream from the perspective of receiving citizenship in the U.S. and opens up a whole set of experiences that you deserve to have in your life and become. You are a powerful creator being. You make it your reality. This comes about by the unwavering faith in the belief of your divinity and worth to have and to hold all you desire. Nothing can ever be held by anyone except by one's own belief. That is God's law. I'm going to read that again. This comes about by the unwavering faith in the belief of your divinity and worth to have and to hold all you desire. Nothing can ever be held by anyone except by one's own belief. That is God's law. Our own belief. When we believe that we have the right to ask for that which we desire, now we are in readiness because we're holding the belief that we are one. We are one with the field. You are a change maker born into this life to learn that nothing can ever hold you away from realizing your dreams come true. Your dreams are always yours to hold and birth into life. And as you do so, you become the model, showing the way to the others who are looking to you to lead the way. So the question should be, do I have the potential to become a citizen of the U.S.? If I hold it as my dream, and I believe I deserve it. To such a question, we respond with a resounding yes. Believe in your divinity and let God create the way. Thus, you and God are co-creating your reality. In this process, there is absolutely no room for doubts. Know it is yours to achieve, and you'll have it. Know that you let no one down by dreaming of expansion. Instead, you help others rise to experience their dreams. Stay strong. Dream your reality into being. Ask, believe, and receive. Blessings, the voice of oneness. So that's a beautiful example of the power of intention. Holding the dream, intending it to be the reality, believing in one's divinity, holding the faith. This is what my belief is. I am worthy of this. And I know that the divine creator, God, source, infinite intelligence, law, nature, whatever title you give it, is going to join with me in expressing this as the outcome. And that's how it's done. And as we remember to hold intention for others that is aligned with the divinity of being, by holding the intention for someone else, that they experience a life of which is abundant in all areas, in health, in wealth, in love. For this is what the source, God, is holding for each and every one of us. And each and every one of us would be experiencing just that if we believed we were worthy to receive it. If we believe in our worth, if we understand the proper use of the power of intention, that would be our experience. Each and every one of us. In each and every breath, we breathe ourselves in anew. There is always opportunity to make a change. We hold the power. No one or nothing holds power over us. It's our choosing how we use our power of intention. Minding our thoughts. We must be mindful. We must mind the thoughts. Okay, what am I thinking? Where am I within my consciousness? What am I experiencing in my life? Does this feel good? Oh, if it doesn't, say, oh, okay, I recognize that I've placed out into the field that which I am not choosing. So let me step back now, take some time, take a breath, take a few minutes, clear my mind, say, okay, I shake it loose. And right here, right now, I'm going to step in and I'm going to align with the presence that is within me, that's never left me, that will always be with me. We walk this life together. And I'm going to join with this presence. And I'm going to remind myself that I am beauty, I am love, divine, I am all that is good. Right here, right now, I call to me that which is mine by my divine birthright, a life of abundance. And I feel that connection, that love that's inside of me. As I am extending love, I am receiving love. I've released the resistance to it right here, right now, in this conscious expression. And so it is. It is done. And therefore, that is what is to be. I hope that makes sense. And it's ours to do. And this is the time. This is the time to do it. Let's not waste time with worry, doubt, and fear. They don't move us forward. What they do is cause havoc. So let's let that go to the best of our ability. Live the fruits of spirit, shine brightly for all to see. Hold the light for those who have yet to realize that they too are light. Somebody whose behavior is just that, their behavior. It does not define the essence of being. It's their chosen behavior. Behaviors can change. And we help bring about that change when we release condemnation and judgment. And we say, I see you in the light. And I wait for you there for when we dance together in the light. I understand right here, right now, you're choosing something of which I don't want to be part of. And that's okay. I'll just say it's very interesting. But I go and I wait for you, my brother, and I know that we will dance in oneness. And so it is. Thank you for joining tonight. I hope this has helped you. Remember, if you want any more information or you have a question, submit it to Aumara, AUMARA, at Aumara, AUMARABONNET.com, and I will respond to you. And if you'd like to know more about my services that I offer, visit thevoiceofoneness.com. Until next week, live the life of your choosing. You hold the power. Use it rightly. Shine light. Do everything with love. Thank you. Good night.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.